We're live, and yeah. So we went to. Whoa, what's happening? Okay, so we're currently live. We're about to go into Cartoon Dude's channel and react to his videos. We're gonna watch. We're basically just gonna watch the videos, basically. We're just we're gonna watch the videos and see what we think about them. But we're live right now, so yeah, let's go to his channel, which I saved it on the subscription page. Do we wanna do Poppy Playtime? I'm gonna do Poppy Playtime.
With
And
Galvani Ricotta, you got a breakfast, you got a dinner, you got a dessert, you got a taste of Dolce Vita.
of course,
You got a ricotta with Galvani.
there's an ad.
Italy's #1 cheese
So
brand.
yeah, of course there's an ad. Let's watch.
Can't take my eyes off of you.
Another ad. Okay.
The highly awarded L certified by Lexus, a collection of pre-owned vehicles, exclusively at your Lexus.
Okay, here we are.
Playtime Co. is now offering factory tours at just $2.99 a person. An entire hour in the most magical toy factory on Earth.
Today, we're gonna talk about a scary as hell cartoon character.
Okay,
Her name's Poppy.
that was
Yes,
an accent.
She's a girl monster.
Wait a minute, I accidentally.
Poppy is a blue-colored, creepy monster who looks like a deformed, weird blue cat. Her body is covered with blue fur, and she walks like a human on
By the way, that isn't Poppy. That is actually Huggy Wuggy. But yeah.
2 legs. Her face is cat-shaped, and she has 2 cat ears. Her eyes are black and round. The most prominent feature of Poppy is her horrifying mouth.
Okay, I like how they mistaked Poppy for Huggy Wuggy because this is Huggy Wuggy, not Poppy. Poppy is like a little doll.
The mouth looks highlighted with plum red lips. Inside the mouth, there is a cluster of crooked teeth. The teeth are sharp and dagger-like. The scary part is that there are many rows of teeth inside her mouth. She does not look alive. Poppy looks like what she is, a lifeless doll with a creepy smile. She's
Finally, a part that they got right. Poppy is a doll, but not this doll. So yeah, Poppy is a doll that looks like a girl doll. Doesn't look like Huggy Wuggy because this is Huggy Wuggy.
tall and huge and walks around with her thick blue furry legs and a creepy smile. Poppy, the monster, lives in the Playtime Co. factory. The Playtime Co. factory was shut down many years ago. To be precise, it was 10 years ago that happened. And the monster lives inside it. Why was the factory shut down? All the employees of the factory had disappeared. Can you believe this? There were more than 1,000 employees inside the factory. No accident happened inside. The factory had no damages. None of the employees had gone out or reached their homes. Everything inside looked calm and quiet, and no people. This is so far the most mysterious case the authorities could ever deal with. Many investigations were done based on this factory to find out what happened to the employees. But they couldn't figure out what happened. None of those employees ever came back either. So, what's this factory all about? Why is there so much mystery?
Also, Huggy Wuggy might have been part of how many people died, but in chapter 2 of Poppy Playtime, they mentioned the prototype that might have, and a lot of other gamers are saying that the prototype might have been the one who wiped out the whole factory.
Years ago, the Playtime was a toy making factory. They had a large production system, going on for 24 hours with employees on various shifts. The Playtime Factory was also popular for letting people watch the production system at a minimal rate. The factory had a lot of popular toy production on its list, and so people were always interested in taking a look at the inside works. Lee Pierre was the head of innovation in Playtime Factory. Things started happening when the Playtime Factory came up with this new toy. One of the Playtime's most popular dolls, which was named the Poppy. The Playtime Company introduced this toy with utmost pride. They'd used the latest technology to produce this special cartoon toy doll called Poppy, which had a primitive level of human intelligence. The robotics area of science was growing at that time, and the company merged those features with their toy mechanics to make this doll. She is supposedly the first truly intelligent doll in the world. Poppy was something like a human robot. She could interact with little girls who used her as a doll. The Playtime Enterprise claimed that Poppy is the first doll who could interact with a girl like a friend. When Poppy talks,
Oh yeah,
she
and
introduces herself.
oh yeah, and Poppy would actually do that, but not Huggy Wuggy. This was just totally different. What he did is he mixed it up, I guess. But I mean, he mixed it up. It was an accident. So we can move
And
on.
says that she loves you. Then she'll request you to polish her shoes or brush her hair.
Hi, my name is Poppy.
There's Poppy right there. That's Poppy.
I love you. Can you help me polish my shoes?
Poppy, the doll, smells like a poppy flower. She's proud of being a girl. She always says that I'm a real girl.
I'm a real girl, just like you.
The launch of Poppy Doll was a big event. The doll was marketed well, so within a short period of time, there came a large number of orders for Poppy, the intelligent doll. With such a huge number of orders,
Something big is coming to theaters.
Okay, another
Cars
ad.
of Fury, rated PG.
Okay then. Skip the ad.
for the doll, the factory had to do some rearrangements in their production. They had to pause all of their other toys production for a while and started making Poppy dolls exclusively. On the first day, the employees unitedly worked hard and 2,000 dolls were made. Finished dolls had to be packed the next day for delivery. Until then, they were all taken to the basement for safe storage. This was done by the day shift employees. As the day employees left, the night employees went inside. They had to push out another 2,000 dolls that night, so they immediately started working. Within an hour of their start, the employees started hearing noises. At first, it was feeble, so the employees ignored that and continued working. As time went by, the noises became louder and clearer. All the employees wondered where this
I bet you that the noise wasn't Poppy or Huggy Wuggy, but the prototype.
was coming from. Those sounds were voices of a girl, which they recognized to be the voice
Or it was Poppy. Maybe I'm wrong.
of the Poppy dolls. The dolls are not supposed to turn off and talk all by themselves. They were all shut down and kept in storage. As the noises became louder and louder, they had to close their ears with their hands.
You know what? I never heard of this before. Like, did he make this up or something? Because I never heard of this on the internet before.
Some of the employees mustered the courage to walk down to the basement and check what's happening. They went, and what they saw there in the basement was shocking. All the 2,000 dolls were up and walking. They were talking many things. The noise was loud. Some of the things the dolls said were, "I'm a real girl, and I love you." The employees could not believe their eyes and ears. As they were watching, all the dolls merged into one big doll. The giant Poppy started approaching the employees. Suddenly, they started screaming and running away.
Wait a minute. I don't think Poppy turned into Huggy Wuggy because in the game, Poppy is a totally different character than Huggy Wuggy, so it just doesn't make any sense.
But it was too late for that. The Poppy doll caught the employees, and what happened afterwards was a massacre. The doll started eating the employees one by one. Her red lips became bloody red, and blood was dripping everywhere. The giant doll walked out of the basement and went to the production area. Hundreds of employees were there who were scared to death. When they saw this monster doll approaching them, all of them started screaming and running everywhere. The Poppy doll started picking up all of them one by one and ate. It took her no time to finish all of them. Thus, all the employees inside the factory were brutally killed and eaten by the Poppy doll. However, the outside world could not know what this atrocity. They saw that one fine day, suddenly, all the employees in the factory had disappeared.
I partly believe this, but it doesn't really match up to what I've heard from other gamers because I've watched videos of Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 many, many times.
Just like that. But the thing is, there was no evidence of what happened in that night. The giant Poppy doll never came out of the factory. Her existence is unknown to the human world. All we know is that 2,000 dolls also disappeared along with the employees. As the factory got shut down, the giant Poppy doll stayed inside, waiting for another night for a good treat. She's still waiting there. For any of you make a mistake and go inside the factory at night.
Okay, so, whoa, what's
You've always been
happening?
responsible with your...
We're going to, there's a playlist that I have. And we're just going to go over there. I'm just need to find it. There it is. So here's some other. Here's one that I wanted to watch, The Grinner, right here. This one's a really good one. From Dr. Bob. It's not
Your mouth with a
already.
pair of orthodontic pliers and starting to pull your front teeth back into place.
Okay, so we're
Evidently
going
your
to.
screams aren't enough of it. Your mouth with a pair of orthodontic pliers and starting to pull your front teeth back into place. Evidently your screams aren't enough of an indication of the extreme pain you feel because...
We're gonna put it back and we're gonna watch.
Tell me if it starts to hurt, the dentist says before reaching into your mouth with a pair of orthodontic pliers and starting to pull your front teeth back into place. Evidently your screams aren't enough of an indication of the extreme pain you feel because he doesn't stop pulling. After what feels like hours of excruciating oral surgery, you're finally standing outside the dentist's office texting with a friend. Come on, show me. It can't be that bad, reads the message from your friend. You're nervous to send her a picture, though, since you have a small crush on the girl and you don't want her to see you in this state. But after she asks you again, you decide to take a quick selfie and send it to her anyway. You snap a photo of your mangled mouth and jaw. The mess of wires had to be hastily applied to move your remaining crooked teeth back into place with globs of fast-hardening epoxy, and the result looks like a low-budget horror movie prosthetic. You send the message and wait. You watch the dots appear that indicate she's writing a response, then watch as they disappear without a reply. You sadly slip the phone back into your pocket and begin walking away. As you make your way home with your head hung in shame, you keep your mouth shut tight. You don't want any passers-by to see what you've become. You decide to detour through the park to avoid any people as much as possible. And as you walk, you decide to stop at a picnic table next to a small pond. You sit at the table and watch the ducks mill about in the water. They have it so lucky, you think. Ducks never have to worry about their teeth getting knocked out by a baseball and leaving them looking like a monster. The ducks suddenly all start moving away from your side of the pond, eventually taking flight and leaving completely. You get the sense that they're trying to get away from something, and you turn around, but there's nothing behind you. Oh, it must be me, you think. But then you get the sense that there is something behind you and turn again. Still though, there's nothing. It's just you, the
I've watched this video before, and the videos that I have in my playlist, they're really good videos. And I just wanted to watch this one, basically. Not that much talking, like not a lot of talking, but I just wanted to watch some of these.
picnic table and the empty pond. You turn back to watch the still water, but you can't shake the feeling that there's someone behind you, and turn again. Hello? Is anyone there? You ask, but no one answers. You turn back to the pond and you scream in fright at the thing standing before you and fall back off of the picnic table. You get up out of the dirt and you don't wait to stick around to see who or what this thing is. You start to run as fast as you can, but you immediately hear it chasing after you.
What is this? Oh, it's the lots of slots.
I don't need this.
It's the lots of slots.
Instinctually, you take out your phone and start trying to take pictures of whatever it is that's behind you. You know no one will ever believe you, and you want some evidence of this thing. You manage to snap off a couple of pictures, but you can hear the creature gaining on you. You scream as your mouth begins to ache. Perhaps running this soon after your surgery is causing your damaged teeth to shift, and the pain is intense. It starts to feel like your mouth is full of jagged rocks, but you can feel that it is your teeth pushing out and stabbing into your mouth. You take one last picture before the creature leaps on you, sending you both to the ground, and your phone tumbling into the dirt. Early the next morning, a police perimeter has been set up in the park. The detective arrives and walks past the traumatized-looking jogger who must have been the one that discovered the grisly scene. An officer guarding the site lifts up the police tape so the detective can enter the crime scene that surrounds a body lying under a white sheet. The detective asks the officer if they've found anything yet, and the officer hands the detective a plastic bag containing a dirty cell phone. The detective puts on a latex glove and removes the phone from the bag. The screen is cracked, but it still works. There's numerous messages on the screen that look like they're from someone trying to apologize for not responding sooner, and asking where the phone's owner is and if they're mad at her. The detective opens the phone's camera app and starts looking at the last photos that were taken. It's a strange series of pictures. They seem to all be selfies that a young man was taking as he ran through the park. It almost appears as though there's a figure behind him, but it's hard to tell. There's a foggy white vignette on the pictures that gets worse the further he looks, slowly closing in until the last photo is nothing but a blurred milky white screen. The detective flips the phone over and looks at the lens, which you can see is completely covered in a hard white substance. The detective places the phone back in the evidence bag and kneels down next to the body. The police officer turns away. He's already seen the victim and doesn't need to again. The detective pulls down the sheet to reveal a truly shocking sight. The boy's mouth is a mess of teeth. Far, far too many teeth.
Wow.
There are teeth growing out of every part of his gums at horrible angles.
I also think that it's just like incredible how much time and effort they put to make these videos. It's crazy.
Filling his mouth and jutting out at painfully odd angles. Who could have done this? What could have done this? The local police department may not have had any idea what the state of this victim meant, but the SCP Foundation did, because they had seen the same occurrence dozens of times before. In fact, they had seen it happen so many times that they had classified this anomalous entity as SCP-4910, but it had already earned a much more ominous nickname within the Foundation. It was known as the Grinner. Very little is known about SCP-4910, and eyewitness accounts of the creature are all extremely brief due to those who have interacted with it quickly succumbing to its effects. What is known is that SCP-4910 is a quadruped and appears to be made partially or perhaps entirely out of teeth. Those who encounter SCP-4910 quickly experience its primary anomalous effect, which is that it causes the extremely rapid overproduction of teeth in its victims' mouths. Existing teeth will quickly increase in size, protruding farther out of the gums than should be able, while new teeth will begin to sprout from any available space in the mouth, including the roof of the mouth and underneath the tongue.
Oh my god.
These new teeth will completely fill the mouth, which almost immediately inhibits their ability to speak or vocalize.
That is just, oh, imagine that. I still think it's crazy.
At all. The creature will then use this opportunity to attack and incapacitate the victim before starting to feed. Further adding to the mystery of SCP-4910's appearance comes from the effect it has on any nearby recording equipment. Cameras and other devices that come within SCP-4910's proximity will have their critical components compromised by a sudden appearance of a layer of dentin, which is the calcified material that partially makes up teeth. Interestingly, SCP-4910 seems to possess some level of intelligence, as it appears able to differentiate between normal civilians, who it hunts for sustenance, and members of organizations that seek to hunt down and contain or harm it, which it uses for an even more nefarious purpose. While the exact mechanics are still unclear, it seems as though SCP-4910 is able to infect certain anomalous organization members with its ability, causing them to act as a vector for the effect, who then spread it to even more victims. This effect is, of course, of great concern to the Foundation, and containment protocols for infected victims have been hastily put into place. Should a member of staff begin bearing a grin with too many teeth or multiple tooth-filled smiles, they are to be immediately immobilized by any means necessary, though preferably with a firearm that allows one to keep an appropriate distance and hopefully prevent any further spread of the effect. The infected individual is then to be doused in a hydrochloric chemical compound that will reduce the afflicted to a pulp-like substance. Once this pulp is no longer animate, it can be transferred to the closest incineration site for disposal. Should a member of personnel have an interaction with SCP-4910 and feel that they were exposed to its anomalous effects, they may be saved by taking immediate medical action. Oral surgery to remove the additional teeth has been found to be effective when the procedure is undergone in the first 1 to 2 hours following exposure, though the victim will suffer lifelong permanent physical issues from the procedure. Once 3 hours have passed, the effect will have spread to the rest of the body, with teeth appearing virtually
Oh
anywhere.
my god.
Unfortunately for the victim, should the infection reach this point, pain management has been shown to be ineffective, and there is nothing that can be done to alleviate their suffering, save for termination.
Oh my god.
SCP-4910 remains at large and has been given the Keter classification.
So when this SCP finds its targets, it makes a new SCP-4910. Like it makes it, it's like reproducing kind of.
Mobile Task Force Epsilon, codenamed Turfing Black, is the only MTF authorized to respond to sightings, and they have been given permission to engage the creature and utilize lethal force if necessary, due to the danger this anomaly presents specifically to the SCP Foundation. Now go and watch another entry from the files of Dr. Bob, like SCP-745, the Headlights, for another predatory creature with a very unique hunting method.
Doesn't that almost look like a T-Rex kind of? It's weird. Here's another good one. Right here. And of course there's an ad
It's
at
a
the
new
beginning.
dating app for dogs called Sniff It. There are 77 million dog owners in America. You in? We're in. Great.
Be focused. Mountain Dew Energy with Mental Boost.
Yeah, of course I'm lagging again.
We're gonna reconsider this whole morning.
I'm
thing.
always
With
like
Taco Bell's
lagging,
warm
it's weird.
breakfast quesadilla, crisp hash brown, Cinnabon delights, and coffee. Wake up to the new $5 Bell breakfast box.
That's
Only
good.
at Taco
In the
Bell.
neighborhood.
You're deep in the middle of a late-night study session when you hear something. It's a sort of clicking sound. You're deep in the middle of a late-night study session when you hear something. It's a sort of clicking sound. You try to ignore it and get back to your books, but there it is again. You turn up your music. There, that's better. It was probably nothing. Just the house creaking. But no, there it is again. You need to figure out.
I know you guys are gonna like this one. It's really cool. SCP-4975 Time's Up. I've been trying to find a model for this, the anime, but I couldn't find one because it was so cool. It was such a cool. It's so cool how this SCP hunts down prey.
What is causing this? You look around. Is it coming from outside your window? Another click. It's definitely coming from outside. You slowly make your way to the window. It's dark out, and you can't see anything with the glare. Slowly, you reach out, grab the window, pull it open, And
Nothing.
nothing. You stick your head out and look around, but there's nothing to see. You close the window and go back to studying, but then it happens again. The next morning, you're eating breakfast when you start to hear that clicking noise again, but still nothing is.
Oh yeah, and I heard that SCP-4975, it takes around 4 months until it finally stops clicking and eats. It starts to feast on the prey. Like why does it have to take so long? I just never understood that. But yeah.
There. On the bus, you could swear it's coming from the seat right behind you. No sign of evidence again. You're in the middle of your test. The vertebrae are connected to each other by... what's the word? It's not going quite as well as you hoped. It was hard to study last night with the constant clicking, but you're giving it your best. At least the noise has stopped, so you can concentrate for a bit. You jump up and look behind you, determined to catch what's making this noise. But there's nothing there. You look around at your confused classmates before sheepishly sitting back down. The cracking noise is almost endless now. You can hardly go a moment without hearing it. It goes on like this for months and months. No one else can hear it, and no one seems to believe you. On one level,
I'm pretty sure that I heard that I can take like almost, maybe even 8 months for SCP-4975 to get its prey. This is what it does for its whole life, though. It just does this over and over again.
you've been able to get used to it, but on another, you never have adjusted to the constant clicking that follows you everywhere you go. You're sitting on the floor of your room, concentrating, focusing hard, trying to will the noise out of your mind. You clench your eyes shut as hard as you can and put all of your mental energy towards stopping the noise, when just then, it's gone. No more clicks. You open your eyes. Could this be it? Could it all be over?
It is over. Your life is over now because it's about to kill you, but yeah.
You turn around to see it, but it's too late. What you have just witnessed is a textbook example of an SCP-4975 attack, an anomaly that has been aptly nicknamed Time's Up. SCP-4975 is a tall, thin entity with some vaguely avian features, most notably a beak. Its long limbs lack any distinct digits, instead tapering off into formless nubs, and a thick, hardened layer of dark skin covers its entire body, including its beak. In addition to its striking appearance, SCP-4975 is perhaps best known for the distinctive clicking sound that it makes. The vertebrae in its long neck are not connected by any intervertebral discs or other tendons, and each of these neck bones appears to be able to move independently of one another. It rotates these vertebrae constantly, one at a time, from bottom to top, ending at its head, creating a constant swinging motion of the head back and forth. It is each movement of these vertebrae that produces the distinctive clicking or cracking sound. SCP-4975's primary behavior is the pursuit and stalking of human beings. Once it has chosen a target, for reasons that still remain unknown, it will begin to follow them, and only the target will be able to hear the clicking sound, though they won't be able to determine where the sound is actually coming from. SCP-4975 will continue to stalk its victims for an extended period of time, as long as 10 months or more.
See?
Until at
You
some
said like 8 months, 10 months? It's gonna be a long time.
point, it stops swinging its head, the clicking sounds cease, and 4975 attacks. In an attack, SCP-4975 uses its long appendages to club and tear the victim apart, after which it will consume them, often starting while the victim is still alive. One single human-sized cadaver appears to be enough to last SCP-4975 for several months, after which it will target a new prey and begin the process all over again. Evidence of SCP-4975 has been found as far back as 1538, with a creature very similar to it appearing in numerous German folktales. Multiple artistic depictions from the time also show a large, black avian creature that can only be assumed to be the same anomaly.